All right, we are on site here, very excited for what we have in store. So today I'm going to be taking you along for some behind the scenes at a corporate shoot. So I've been out here shooting all day, doing a bunch of interviews and also capturing a little bit of B-roll. Most of what my business revolves around is corporate videography and creating testimonial-based videos. And actually what this is going to be a long-form piece where it's going to be filmed over a number of days. We have a bunch of different people coming in and filming and talking about the department, and it's basically for a big celebration they're going to have later this year. I know that I've been here all day, but what I was hoping for and what I'm really excited about is I have someone awesome coming to help me out to film. He's going to be shooting a little bit of behind the scenes. This is not going to be any sort of thorough behind the scenes by any means, but it's just kind of giving you some insight and hopefully giving you a little bit of a peek onto a shoot day at Lassiter Media. So check it out. All right, so pretty much I'm just gonna explain basic setup that we have for the interviews today. So real quick, I wanna introduce you to an awesome guy who's helping me out with the shoot today, Moog. Here we go, we got a Moog, he's shooting today. He's also helping me out with the shoot. All right, so pretty much the shoot that we have today, so it's pretty interesting because we've been shooting all day. We had two different setups and we were in a conference room, which is pretty standard for corporate video shoots. Really nice thing about this room is that there's a lot of color, which is not always typical with conference rooms. So if you look here, basically what I decided to play with was the different lines in the room. So Moog, if you actually turn it around, you can see we're working with the longer side of the room going this way. So that's why we're shooting with length, so that we have more depth in the shots that we're working with. So basically, we have the camera as far to the front of the room with the subject probably 6 to 7 feet in front, and then we have a bunch of depth behind. And basically what this depth does is when you have a shallow depth of field, then you'll basically be able to blur the rest of the background, so that way the focus is really just on the subject right here. So what I have up here in terms of camera, so I'm working with a 2-camera shoot, shooting with 2 Panasonic GH5s, one with a 25mm and one with a 42.5mm. And basically what this does is this is going to be on the soft or the fill light side of the subject. So basically you have your wider shot with the 25mm, you have the tight shot, so that way I can cut back and forth in the interview. So if there's any ums, ers, all that sort of thing, then you can basically splice everything together and you have a succinct thought. So I'm gonna focus on the lights right now. So right behind you we have our key light. And actually, if you come over here, it's gonna be easier to see all this. So basically from this direction, so you're kind of looking, basically the perspective you have is from the subject that we'd be interviewing. So we have on this side, we have the cameras. So we have the key light, which is going to be the brighter light filling this entire side of their face. So that's the side that's really going to be filled with light. It's going to look really nice. And then the other side, you're just filling in the shadows, because you really want to have the camera on the softer side with the shadows. And then on the back side here, for lights, what we did a little bit, trying to mix it up a little bit, but basically we have a backlight to provide some depth, so that's splashing onto the subject, so that way I'll follow this up in another video, but basically when you see a little bit of the kind of the halo around the subject, then that gives you a little bit of depth and that separates them from the background. And then these 2 lights here are filling the background. So one, this is a really cool light. It's a color light. So you can see I actually have, it's set to red right now. It goes through red, green, blue, and then it also has color temperatures from 3200 to 5500 Kelvin. And so I'm splashing this onto the flag here, and then in the back I have this other light, and that's set to 3200 Kelvin, which is a very warm orange. And when you splash all those together, so you have the red on one side, you have the orange on the other. Actually, what this is for, this video is for a fire department, so kind of that idea, playing a little bit with the with that theme. And the other lights that we have, the key light, the fill light, and the backlight, are all 5500 Kelvin or typical daylight. So basically, you're going to notice the difference when you have these red and orange in the background versus the typical blue daylight that's going to be on the subject. So hopefully that makes sense. Check out some of these shots from the interview to see what it actually looks like. Whew. All right. I know that was a super quick overview. Hopefully that was helpful and you maybe learned a little bit. Really the intention was just kind of give, it's a quick peek into a corporate videography setup, specifically an interview setup. And really, this was kind of my first taste at, doing it behind the scenes. And I think that it kind of gave me some more ideas for the future of how to go a little bit more in depth, how to, talk a little bit more about the different equipment that I'm using, I know I didn't talk about audio at all, how to really explain a little bit more about the camera equipment, to talk a little bit more about lighting and what I've learned since I've opened my business. If you liked it, if you want to see more content like that, please let me know. I'd love to hear it so I can expand on it. But yeah, I'm really just getting started with vlogging and, just getting ideas and getting better at all of this. Really excited for the future, for what's to come, but it's been a really long day and I need to get home. So I'll see you next time.